What's up, everybody? I am back reviewing the 2012 Dredd movie, a reboot from the 95 Stallone film. And this one definitely love. It's one of those like cult. I won't say cult classic, but it's just one of those things that's loved by many fans, but it's slightly underperformed. Even though it had like a reasonable budget, it's still slightly underperformed. But it's one of those movies that had like a growing fan base, and right now is no concrete uh, thing of a potential sequel. It's probably word out. There's like a script somewhere, but I don't know. I really would love like a sequel to this because this movie was so much fun. Very one of those like not isolated, but it's just like yeah, it didn't have to go crazy big like the predecessor. It kept it very intimate. It didn't use crazy outfits to sell any kind of toys or anything like that. It kept it very reasonable and looks immaculate, especially the use of the slow motion where they actually got a drug like this, the big kind of, it's not necessarily a MacGuffin, but this drug called slow mo, where it slows your brain down to 1%, giving you this sense of euphoria. They literally call it slow mo. So it gives like the director the excuse to actually use slow motion effects, in especially in specified brilliant ways. And Karl Urban, who did an immaculate job, also stayed true to the character and not took off his helmet for any reason. So he just had to use his jawline to do most of the emoting, and you can just, he's such a great actor. You can just feel that through the body language. So I had to just get that out the way. But anyway, like I said, yeah, it's directed by Pete Travis. Karl Urban plays Judge Dredd. Olivia Thirlby as Cassandra Anderson. You got Cersei Lannister herself, Lena Headley as Mama, the gang leader. Wood Harris as Kay, one of her underlings. We open with Dredd, who's get called in to pretty much like training day, training this new recruit who has psychic powers because she's one of those mutants from the outskirts who has the ability of reading minds. So she slightly underperformed. So one of the chief justices thought, okay, let's put her under your wing and sink or swim kind of thing. So maybe with her abilities and with your tutelage, she will get over that slight hump. So Dredd pretty much like, okay, I will do your evaluation, but here's the criterias. Any disobedience, incorrect sentencing, or being disarmed will result in the automatic fail. And so as he breaks down the rules, the training starts immediately. So there's a murder at the Peachtree apartment complex where they show up, find some dead bodies where Dredd just callously just pulling up the tarps so the crowd around can just get a real good look, because those people were skinned alive because they was, rogue drug dealers. Mama didn't like that, so she had those dudes skinned and forced to inhale some slow-mo and pushed off the highest, because 200 floors, they got pushed off the highest top of the building to their death. And for their perception, it probably felt like forever. So I'm imagining it was probably terrifying. So Anderson and Dredd break into one of the drug dens And once again, the use of slow mo is crazy good. Uh, they managed to take out a bunch of the criminals, arrest some, and realize K is one of the people that are responsible for those deaths. So they bring him in, hoping to question him at the HQ. But once Mama figures out, oh, can't have him being interrogated. He knows too much, and they have a way of breaking people. Can't have that. So she has her little computer hacker to shut down the entire building, pretty much put on lockdown, and tells everybody either kill those judges or stay out of my way because I'm getting to them. They're interfering in my business. So not even like the local medic in that building would want to help. He's like neutral ground. I'm not trying to get involved. It's like, you're not neutral. Is and, by the way, I love the way Karl Urban talks with that gruff voice. It's so cool. I don't know what was his choice behind that, but it was like the right choice. Just talks like this. Mega City 1 is all a deep end. It's just like that. That voice was like, okay, that sense is far cry from how Stallone did it, where he just plays Judge Dredd. He just playing Stallone. He's not being Judge Dredd, in my opinion. Here, Karl Urban's not playing Karl Urban. He is being Judge Dredd. Doing a voice, putting some body language into it, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure he did some extensive research and a lot of practicing just to get this down correctly, to honor the character correctly. So, since everything's on lockdown, it's hard for them to get any communication outside the thick walls in order to call for backup. So they decided to press on in order to just take down Mama. But then they get, assaulted and attacked by a bunch of armed thugs. One of which turns out, I won't say innocent per se, but Cassandra had to take him down. And they get so cornered where they, break into a woman's apartment, convince her to help get to a different service elevator. Using her psychic powers, she realized this is the wife of one of the guys she had to shoot. And I don't necessarily feel all too bad because this dude had the option, mind you, stay out of their way. I'm not sure he was new to the gangs or what his backstory is, but he willingly, opted into this situation and potentially put his life on the line. So now you got this poor character, Cassandra, feeling guilt over taking a life, leaving a woman widowed and a child without a father. But it's sad, but I can't feel all that bad because you didn't try all that hard to get this guy to stay inside, and that guy was being stupid, and he just couldn't just stay out of it. At the very least, you could have had him be a part of the actual gang. He looked like a normal dude, who thought like, oh, I don't know what he thought, but he doesn't seem like he was legit part of the other gangs at all. And so he effectively just participated in a crime, which you should know the rules of this world pretty much. At least Mega City 1, these judges don't play. Don't get your ass involved. So they end up getting trapped in a particular section. So Cassandra stays with Kay while Dredd searches, goes to near the walkway, or like the center area where you can look down at the bottom floor. It's almost like a tower defense type of game in a way. Um, and I love we actually get to see like Dredd using the Lawbringer weapon that you don't really see used all that much in the previous film, and he uses it almost in a way like a like RoboCop's gun in a way, but there's different ammo that you can call upon, and on top of that is these guns are tied to the judge's DNA fingerprint stuff, so it's like nobody else can use their gun because it will self-destruct and take the person's hand off, which I'm glad we get to see because we never got to see that in the previous film. They pull out all the stops as much as we can get in this film that stay canonically true to the source material. Mama then has these giant Gatling guns and starts raining bullets on the section of a level that murders and wounds a lot of people while Cassandra, Dredd, and Kay make it out on the side of the building where these street kids are, skateboarding on it's not necessarily a ledge, but it's kind of like a ledge where it's like, this seems so impractical and dangerous that any of these kids could easily fall to their freaking deaths. It's so stupid. I digress. But they managed to get outside the building temporarily so they can send out a communication and get some help, which is utterly useless because Mama got her hacker to pretend like he's security and say like, oh, we have a malfunction. It was like a fire. It's not a big deal. But Judge is like, okay, you get that sorted out. So that whole entire thing is useless. Then Dredd starts beating on Kay because he comes to figure out, okay, there was for some reason that Mama went out of her way to lay waste to an entire section of a building just to keep us from bringing you in. Clearly you know something she doesn't want you spilling. So Cassandra got in his head and realized this entire building is the epicenter of the production of slow-mo, and doesn't want the justice to come barreling in and shut the entire operation down. So these punk kids come try to take her down, but Dredd stuns them. But in the process, Kay breaks free, takes Cassandra hostage and bring her to Mama, and Mama realized, okay, I'm gonna need some extra help dealing with Judge Dredd. So she got a few judges on her payroll. So she brings in these corrupt cops who come in, kill the med guy, and all but one goes after Dredd. The female, after Cassandra manages to break free and take out Kay, who tries to use her service weapon but ends up getting his arm taken off, she makes her escape to trying to find Dredd. While Dredd, in an awesome firefight, takes out these corrupt judges, but he ends up getting wounded in the gut, and it's like it also displays like, wait, you can tell this history here because dude clearly does not like Dredd because I guess he had kind of envious of him or something. It's like, wait, Judge Dredd finds himself on the other end of a gun, and all he says is, wait for what? For one last breath? and then he gets shot up, and then Dredd's like, for her to shoot you. It was like an awesome display. That was like a fun scene. It's probably like my favorite scene in the entire film. Uh, but I love, like I said, I love to get to see all these different type of animals being used by the judges. And of course, Cassandra ends up killing the female judge after she clearly reads her mind, because nobody knew she was psychic, all but the chief judge and Dredd themselves. So Cassandra immediately shoots that female judge. It's like, yeah, I read your mind. You clearly was going to shoot me immediately. So they make their way up while Mama puts a device on her wrist, a signal to a bomb that's wired to some of the floors on the top building. As Dredd and Cassandra make their way in, she states that it's tied to her heartbeat. If she flatlines, most of this building will go. So Dredd wounds her in the gut, forces her to take slow-mo, and theorizes, okay, the range of this thing can't be that significant. So he which he kind of took a gamble on this. It could not have worked, but it works. So because her body thinks, it's all right, while the body is like in real time going down as he pushes her over the edge, falls to her death, the signal went so far, it couldn't let out and trigger the bombs. And of course, like, they end up getting the access code to Mama's apartment because of the hacker, and after reading his mind, she realizes he's a victim, tells him he can go. Despite Dredd's protest, she points out, look, I already failed the entire thing because I lost my Cerberus weapon, but this guy's not a perpetrator, he's a victim. So, like, while I'm still here, I'm still allowed to, dole out justice. Because earlier in the film, she states to him she wants to make a difference, but after this experience, she realized, just like, man, I gotta at least do some level of good here, despite all this carnage. So after neutralizing the entire drug operation, the Chief Justice goes to Dredd and states, like, so how about the rookie? And it's like, she's a pass. And the way I took it, and I think a lot of people might take it, is the fact that she has the wherewithal to be like a proper judge, where she, like I state in the Stallone review, where it's like there's a difference between judging and judgment. And what Cassandra showed Dredd is the fact that she shows some judgment. She has compassion, and something that most judges might, because after his experience, I guess he goes on his own little arc here, where he saws how corrupt these judges are and how easily they fall prey to this criminality and turn away from the law, abandon the law altogether. He sees something in Cassandra where she not only honors the law, but makes sure she still kept her humanity in the process in order to dole out justice, dole out justifiably. Like I said, man, this movie deserves a sequel. And people been clamoring for one for the longest time. And hopefully, while we still have Karl Urban, and he's still pretty young looking because he just got cast as Johnny Cage for the Mortal Kombat sequel, which also took a mighty long time to get a sequel from the rebooted film a handful of years ago. Hopefully we get him as Dredd again. But that was just like a quick review because it's only like what was it 95-minute film. And how long was the last one? Wow, it's just like a minute shy because the running time of the 95 film was 96 minutes. So the rebooted one was like a minute shorter, little minute shorter. Wow. It didn't feel like it. It felt kind of short, while the 90s version felt kind of long. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, just probably took slow mo myself because I can't even tell the difference. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the rebooted one. There's moments of the previous one that I liked, but by comparison, 2012 one's by far way better. Highly recommend that one. But those are my reviews for the Judge Dredd films. I'll try to get this up on my YouTube channel soon. But while we're still in the month of July, I think the next film I'll be reviewing will be Olympus Has Fallen. So stay tuned for that next week. It's another action film. But in any case, I will see you all soon. Take care. And I might pop in later on to play some more Marvel Rivals. But we'll see. But in any case, take care and I'll see you all later. Peace.